I am so far behind with my garden planting. This is Garden Zone 9A in Central Florida, and we are frost-free by the beginning of March, and here it's the end of March, and I'm just now making time to do it. But you know what? Late's better than never. So let's get this garden planted. Hey friends, it's Barbara Sue from Kowalski Mountain. Welcome back to our channel. Well, I didn't actually start late with my gardening. I actually did do my seed starts very timely. I actually started my tomatoes back in January. But if you are following our journey, you know that currently we live in an RV, and so I don't have any really good spots to seed start. Now, I've tried a bunch of different things, and it's just really challenging. And so this year I did start them, but the plants were really outside in January, and it was still pretty cool. Now, we did actually put a heat lamp on them, and they were kind of sheltered from the cold weather, but they just weren't getting the warmth and the light that they really needed to grow. So even though I started them on time, they're growing kind of slow. This is actually the biggest one. Most of them are like this little one. Now I'm going to go ahead and pot these up into their pots into the container garden today and get this garden going. Now Philip planted some green beans early, and we actually have baby green beans. I love it. Lots of little baby green beans. Here's some more. Look at that. Look at them. We're going to be able to have a half a dozen green beans or so at dinner pretty soon. Now you all have got to see this. That caterpillar thinks he is going to eat my tomatoes. Sorry, buddy. Not today. Oh, where'd he go? He's right in here. Squished. One squished caterpillar out of my garden. Now these are the blackberry bushes that are going to be taken to the farm, and I noticed a problem. Do you see this problem? Sorry, caterpillar, not in my garden. Now over here are the gladiolas. Gladiolas are one of my favorite flowers that I fell in love with when we lived in Alaska. And Philip planted some for me at our house before we sold it. And he dug up all these bulbs and he brought them with us. And they are growing in a pot. I'm just so excited about that. Now I noticed a little straggler. This looks like a loofah. I've been pulling the loofahs, but I might transplant that one. Maybe just one. Now we're out here in the newly relocated garden, and I do have the green stalks. Even though I haven't been very intentional about starting my gardening, I have done some prep work along the way. Now this green stalk is planted completely with green beans because green beans is something I really like, and I love to eat them fresh. So planted the whole thing with green beans about 2 weeks ago, and they are sprouting nicely. Now I also did some prep work a few months ago. I was pet sitting for my mother-in-law, and part of that includes cleaning the rabbits. So I took all of the manure from that day and I filled all of my pots and my green stalks, and everybody has fresh rabbit manure. And I did that a few months ago, so the garden is ready to go. Let's go ahead and I'm going to show you some footage from that time. Now, if you're new to our channel, Philip and I are moving to our homestead debt-free by the end of the year. So we're living in the RV to save money so that we can do that. Now, I'm just doing a container garden because it's what I can do in my small space. I probably should have watered this last night, but I didn't. Now, I planted two kinds of tomatoes, and one of them grew beautifully, and one didn't grow at all. I don't know which one is which. I'm hoping these are the paste tomatoes, which is most likely because they were the freshest seeds. But I just guess we'll find out. Now, when you plant the tomato deep in the pot, it will create new roots along the whole stem. And so that's why I dug down as far into the pot as I could so that this will grow new roots. One potted up. Now, all of my tomatoes are going to get tied up with rope to this frame that's above my head, and I'll be sure to show it to you when I'm done. Now, some of the tomatoes have cages, because we have some, but I don't have enough for this project, and honestly, they don't last very long. These kinds of tomatoes get way too tall, way too quick. Now, some manures you cannot put directly on the plants like this. Rabbit manure is a colder manure, so it can go straight on the plants without having to cure. You would never want to do that with chicken manure or most others. They all need to cure. Another furry caterpillar. Tis the season. If you've ever heard the story of the hungry little caterpillar, it comes to life when you're a gardener. Just saying. Now, this one has a really odd shaped stem. And that's the result of not the best gardening conditions. But you know what Jess at Roots and Refuge says? Plants want to grow. And it wants to grow. Even in my pots, I have worms. This was my beautiful basil bush. I loved that basil. It was so pretty. I don't even like basil, but the plant was gorgeous. And it did not survive. I was hoping it would survive the freeze, but it didn't. This elephant ear is going to have to go. Now I know some of you just cringed when I did that, but there are plenty of them, and they're going to take over the space. And this is for my tomatoes. They can grow someplace else. And trust me, they're going to come back. Now, even in the little bit of time that it's been since I planted these, I mean, we're probably within the hour, they're already starting to wilt. So let's get these watered. Now I'm watering them pretty heavy because the pots were dry, so we need to saturate that soil all the way through the pot. Now I'm going to trim this up. Can't possibly get worse. Now this is some of that fish fertilizer. We'll see what happens. Now the last thing that I'm going to plant today are these very neglected potatoes. Now these were actually potatoes we grew last year and we didn't eat them all. So they're sprouting. I'm going to stick them in bags. The worst that'll happen is they won't grow. I still have a lot of tomatoes left.
I tried my best to keep them all.
I lost half that I started. One whole pot.
I know.
One whole pot in Germany.
Well, when we get up there, I plan on having full runs running vertical. So you'll have plenty of tomatoes, so make sure you got some recipes ready to rock. Can a bunch of tomatoes for sauce or whatever.
Yeah, I expect we'll have like 50 plants at least.
Yeah, at least that. I'll probably do the 50 just the first year, and then we'll figure out what we got left in stock, can-wise.
You want to do salsa, spaghetti sauce,
Correct.
Canned tomatoes.
So I got to figure out my design. I think that's really what I need to focus on today. I need to focus on today my supply list of what I need for wood so I can cut. Start putting wood aside. What I'm going to need for the decking, which I already know the size. How I'm gonna exactly do the greenhouse.
Now in this green stock, I planted lettuce and spinach, and I only planted the top 3 because I want to succession plant the bottom. So slow start, and they're just coming up. So hopefully we'll have lettuce soon because I've been eating a lot of it. Well, friends, that is the start of the 2023 container garden. Now it's the end of March, and like I said, I'm way behind, but I want to encourage you, if you're a negligent gardener like me who is starting way too late, it's not too late to get started. Go ahead and get some plants in the ground and grow some vegetables. Now we only have a container garden, so it's not going to be a ton, but it's going to be something fresh, and I can't wait for the harvest. Thank you so much for watching, friends. We appreciate you. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that button. We're almost to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. We can't do it without you.